Okay guys, so I've sort of been wanting to make this video for a while. So I've just recently bought a sword online off of a site called Cult of Athena in America. And I wanted to show you how sharp it really is. So firstly, this here is the sword I got. It's called the Hanwei Ninjato Black Edition, because if you can see in here, these bits here are white in the white edition, and I just think for a ninja sword that the white one looks kind of wrong, if you know what I mean. I mean, after all, a ninja wouldn't want to have a white sword. I'm pretty sure you would know why. So yeah, this sword was about $160, not including the very scandalous delivery I got charged for. But yeah, so I will show you just how sharp this sword is. And I actually have a couple things I can demonstrate to you on. Okay? So, not sure if this might help, but looking up at the blade here, it is a pretty sharp blade. I mean, I could push my finger into the blade, like so, but as soon as I move either direction, I would get cut right along here. So, nearly cut myself just then. It is a pretty sharp sword. Okay? So, yes, I'm going to show you a couple of my, it's called backyard cutting, basically. It's pretty self-explanatory. I will show you some backyard cutting just now. Okay guys, so there are quite a few different things you can do if you want to do some cutting yourself. The first thing is save up some money and buy a sword, obviously. There are a couple different things to cut, like obviously the easiest to get hold of are the plastic bottles. So fairly common would be Coke bottles, and then next up, something a little bit nicer to cut through would be milk. So milk bottles are like the main one, those are really good. But if you're a grape juice whore like I am, and you love these, you love juice so much, you have a lot of juice bottles left over, these are so nice to cut through. They are my personal favorite. Obviously, I haven't really cut through many other things like tatami mats and stuff. You get a lot of different things you can test cut through. So yeah, test cutting is a lot of different things. You've got your plastic bottles and things like this. So milk bottles and plastic bottles would generally be different because milk bottles are an easier target, easier to get through, I suppose, even if they have all the mold. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's quite a bit of mold and stuff in mine. I've kind of saved them for a bit. Not very nice smelling when you fill them up. But yeah, you've got like milk bottles, you've got plastic bottles you can cut through, and then there are a lot of other things too, like you cut through tatami mats are a really good one, really good Japanese thing. So I think tatami mats are usually wrapped in bamboo after being soaked in water for overnight, I think. And then you also have other targets. You have the neighbor's cat or dog if you want meat. Like maybe you own like a butchery or something, you got this random meat carcass hanging up from a hook, just take your sword in there, chop it up a bit, whatever you want, I suppose. So yeah, there's a few different things you can test cut out. Just check out the internet, I suppose. You'll probably find a lot better videos than this one. I'm still wondering why you stuck around this long. Okay, so obviously I don't have a proper test cutting platform as yet. If you can't see, I'm using the barbecue. It's at a good height. You need something that's about like your swing height, you know? So these are still a little low, but they are at a reasonable height. So it's about the only thing here. Obviously, the problem with this is that I risk hitting the sword on the metal of the barbecue here, and so like things like that, cutting through like cans and stuff, cutting through barbecues, cutting into your neighbor's house to steal his TV, they all damage your sword a little bit. They like leave scratches on the blade. You'll have to end up sharpening your blade. And actually, this blade, I think when they sharpened it before they sent it to me, they left scratches on the blade up here. So I wasn't too happy with that. But so yeah, like your blade, even just touching your blade with your fingers, like obviously I'm okay to do this now, but I'm gonna oil my blade after this, right? But like carbon steel is like a very fine metal, and the acid and dirt, grease on your fingers, it corrodes the blade. It makes the metal weak and rusts and stuff. So yeah, there's stuff like that. Another thing, I'm not really gonna go through too much safety stuff. Safety's more of a it's more of a common sense thing, really. So my milkshake brings anyway. So yeah, with safety, just don't do things. It's like if you're American watching the show, it's the same sort of common sense things you would think with that comes with, like, say, I don't know, if you took like your kid out hunting or shooting in your backyard, it's the same sort of thing. Yeah, if you're American, take your kid out shooting, you're not going to be doing stupid stuff with your guns, are you? If you're Russian, take your kid out drinking vodka, he's not going to have an overdose, unless you're like, okay, bad example. So, yeah, just common sense for safety, I think, is always the best policy. That's pretty much all I really have to cover on safety. If you're an idiot, if you're an idiot, you should be dead already. But, otherwise, yeah. So, first thing I'm going to do is do a stabbing test. So with your backyard cutting, you have a couple different things. Usually it's just slicing through something or stabbing, but of course, like, your sword has other uses. It was yeah, it has a lot of other uses, like for example home invasion or something, whether your home's being invaded or you're invading someone else's. But yeah, so the sword has a fair few uses to it, but generally I'd stick to either with a sharp sword, backyard cutting, or if you really want a display sword. And then if you want to get a like stage combat sword, you can practice your fighting and stuff, but I'd recommend starting with a wooden bokken or something like that. So it's pretty much just a wooden training sword. I'm pretty hardcore, I didn't start with that. Just straight into this. Okay, so first one, stabbing through these three. These have a pretty hard plastic, they're much harder than milk bottles. So, yeah, when I stab through this, you'd think, oh yeah, just plastic bottles, yeah, anything could really get through that. Kitchen knife wouldn't get very far, and not just because it's shorter, but it really, yeah, it's just all to do with the pressure build up in the thing, in the bottle. Obviously, decent pressure, especially on this one, shit. But decent pressure in these bottles. So as soon as I stab the sword in, all of the pressure is going to be pushing against the blade to try and, yeah, try to get out. All the water wants to get out of the bottle. It's going to be pushing against this blade. And the sharper the blade is, the less the water can push against it, and the further and faster it goes. And so, yeah, I'm just going to show you guys. First one, straight up, is just a stabbing test through these three things. If I'm shit at this, then don't blame me. Maybe just wait until I'm a bit better, or watch someone else. You lazy bastards. So first up, see, I missed the third one, but the sword went pretty far through. This is a pretty sharp sword. If I try again, that time was a little bit better. As you can see, my sword sort of stopped because the pressure in the bottles got a bit much. Before I lose a lot of water, after your stabbing test, you can usually finish it off with a slice, so I'll do that quickly. Yeah. Generally, if you slice, you need to have the full with water, otherwise it won't go through. So this example, these ones are like, it's a lot harder than milk bottles, the plastic for this, and so when you slice, you really have to be a lot faster than a milk bottle. Probably wasn't the best example to start off with, but yeah. So when I sliced these, they didn't exactly cut because they are a much stronger plastic, and again the pressure thing. So this one, I'll try and go a little bit faster, not take out the barbecue. Same thing again. Also, like I said, practice-wise, like ability-wise, I'm probably not the best at slicing. So I don't know if you want to try and analyze that in slow-mo or not, but when I slice, I'm probably not straight, like cutting with the sharpest bit first. I'm probably hitting more of a side-on angle, and then you might as well just be using a baseball bat. So, next up, maybe to give you a little bit better example, milk bottles. Okay, so I'll just start off with one milk bottle first up. It's probably best. So yeah. Try to make sure you don't have any area where the sword will hit into, possibly. So, yeah, this one, a lot weaker plastic. I mean, if I wanted to stab into it, I'll show you guys just very easily. Just in there. Easy to do. Now, again, there's probably less pressure. It might be harder to cut through. I'm not making excuses. I am just that shit. So, milk bottle. Much, much easier to get through. Look at that. Straight cut there. All I did was drop the sword in. So yeah, best thing to start off with cutting is milk bottle. It's just so much fun. You don't even need much force. I was kind of a bit psyched out after the dodgy go I had with the grape juice. But yeah, you don't even need much force to get through these. Even if you want to have friends over and show them, this is also like one of the best ways to start them off. And you can also get through a couple other cuts. Again, if you're not crap. Like I am. Obviously, you need to go a little faster with your second cut. Bear with me, guys. Okay, I don't have that much training. This time, I'm going to try and go through two quickly. And so, you should see that. First one, I think I might go towards the camera. So, no. Not fast enough. But once again, you can see that one, it dipped and went upwards. So you can see the dip, and then it went up. Not as good an example. Okay. Another thing you can do, especially with milk bottles, once again, because they are literally such a great thing to do this with. You can do the quick stab and then slice. You can do this with all your practice cutting stuff. Obviously, if you get better, you have a decent stand. Like, people might make a wooden stand that goes down and then it has 4 bits coming across, so it's something to balance their stuff on, just slice clean through. But yeah, I might as well just show you guys. That's what you're here for, I'm assuming. Not my shitty comedy. So, you would stab through, that was so easy, and then slice. Just another slice, it doesn't work. This one, obviously much smoother cut. More pressure in the bottle. Once again, very, very easy to stab through these.